And if you didn't know, this is called The Show. What's up? It's your homeboy Lover J back with another edition of The Show. And, you know, usually I'm coming out of the theater. I like to give you the fresh review straight off the movie, straight out of the theater, straight with popcorn still in my teeth. But not right now. Of course, we are in Corona time, the era of Corona and not the drink. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm here with Apollonia. She just bailed out, but I'm gonna bail in. I'm gonna give you an important review. This film is one that should have been seen by everybody, and it's polarizing. I'll say that to begin. I'll say this is a polarizing film, and how would you describe it? You have to go into it without bias. On the record, this is a film by Amy Ziering and Kirby Dick. It's a documentary, and it's about the accounts of one Dawn Dixon and her allegations and multiple other women's allegations against one of the heroes of hip-hop through business and culture. If you've been around hip-hop culture as long or longer than me, you've been around since the beginnings, and I'm just here right after the beginning. I'm here from the 80s, early 80s. So Russell Simmons depicted in Crush Groove, the brother of Run from Run DMC, you know, allegations lobbed towards Russell Simmons in the era of Me Too. And popularly, you know, some people are like, believe all women. I don't believe that because I know women who are straight up liars. When you watch this film, you're going to be compelled to take a real solid listen. And people, this is a kind of affair people want to say, you know, how long do we have to rehash this? It's too old, just brush it under the rug, act like it didn't happen. You know, I don't think that's right either. There are scars that cannot be seen. And in this film that's premiered on HBO Max, you'll hear some of the accounts of one Dawn Dixon. Dawn Dixon is not just some woman, you know, who you could brush off. Dawn Dixon comes from an astute family. That doesn't mean she's telling the truth. She is an intelligent, brilliant professional woman who made her way into Def Jam and into the music industry. That doesn't mean she's telling the truth. So you have to watch the film because her story is compelling. It requires a listen. It's fair to listen. I don't, again, believe in the believe all women. I do believe in listening to all accounts, listening to all stories, and that way you could come to a better conclusion. And On the Record, I think, presents that opportunity. Not only is it filmed well, it takes you through the stories well, and it tries its best to give you an account of the women who allege sexual assault, even. Not just misconduct or inappropriate behavior, but sexual assault against Russell Simmons. And who is Russell Simmons? Well, I mentioned he's a hero in hip-hop culture and business. This is the man who is co-founder with Rick Rubin of Def Jam Records. You know, he was with Rush Management, which managed some of your favorite artists who you ever just name one, especially from the 80s. And if they weren't managed by Rush, they wish they were managed by Rush Management. This is the creator of Def Comedy Jam, okay? Legendary avenue for all your favorite black, brown, and some white comedians to find their way into the mainstream of success. I mean, name them, okay? Martin Lawrence, Bill Bellamy, you know, rest in peace, Bernie Mac. But not only that, Def Poetry, you know, the literary word, Fat Farm. This is Russell Simmons. So one thing, when you watch this film, the accounts are striking. The accounts are very inflammatory, but it's hard to disregard them if you're trying to do that. Now, I would again say go into this film with an open mind. Go into this film knowing that there's not one human who's perfect and there's not one human who hasn't made mistakes, or there's some stories you just don't know. You don't know everything about everybody. You don't know how they act. You don't know conduct. You don't know their public versus private persona. And this raises all these questions. The way I handle things in my career, in law and other areas of business, I can't come to a conclusion if I'm not a witness that easily. But I'll tell you, the accounts here and the corroboration. Corroboration means I gave an account and like multiple other people gave an exact description with no connection, no prejudice, no pre-meeting to discuss details. There's corroboration and on the record. So there's also controversy behind this film. This was a film Oprah Winfrey had decided she was going to support at one point. And people got on Oprah Winfrey because of the follow-up of the Michael Jackson fiasco and that oddity where people accused Michael Jackson while he's dead. And, you know, people were like, well, Oprah, you're over here hugging and kissing on Harvey Weinstein. Why aren't you making a film about him? You should be executive producing that. And she kind of, you know, pity-patted Harvey Weinstein and said, I hope there's silver linings. So Oprah fell out of this film. She didn't support it as far as executive production status and like funding it and help push it. But she supported it when it came out at the film festivals. It doesn't need her support. This film does not need her support. What it needs is your eyes, ears, and your thinking, your critical thinking, to note that not only is there opportunity to learn more and to give justice, but also to note that, you know, even in the midst of these horrible allegations and horrible misdeeds that are alleged, there's still an opportunity for redemption. You know, people point at Russell Simmons and see what kind of yogi he is and vegan and his lifestyle change. And, you know, he said, I'm a different person. And it doesn't erase the deeds. You know, it must be known that some scars cannot be seen. And there's no one way to judge them. People are like, get over it. That was a long time ago. And I'm like, that's absurd and very disrespectful. I'm a person that worked in sexual assault awareness, education, prevention. And there's no way you can disregard, judge, or minimize what that feels like to have been assaulted or to have been through some exploitation. Like, it's not you. Maybe you're hardened to that. Maybe you're used to that. Maybe it's something you've grown into or accepted, but it's not acceptable. So the film does its job in presenting a story that is one for you to consume, one for you to consider, one for you to come to a decision about. And, you know, Dawn Dixon's record speaks for itself. Again, she was the brainiac, the brilliant mind behind Marion Method Man and Mary J. Blige for You're All I Need. You know, she was the brainiac behind the soundtrack of The Show, which was a groundbreaking documentary that Def Jam produced, and, you know, the soundtrack was awesome. And then she had further allegations. It's not just Russell Simmons, but also against L.A. Reid, who had other allegations. So, you know, we're looking at a world of power. We're looking at a world where power goes unchecked. These are empires, monarchies. Is a lot of what the record, not only record, but corporate industries are made of. It's like, you know, I make my own rules. I'm the millionaire. I'm the billionaire. Everybody else are on my strings. It's very possible. And there's evidence, and it's happened before. And this is the era of Me Too. So what I'm saying is I'm giving, on the record, the serious high five. This is the full scale. I'm giving full recommendations to watch it because you need to make a conclusion. You need to clear your mind and be unbiased about receiving information and just taking it for what it is. You know, I know you don't want to believe certain things. I don't want to believe it either, but I'm not going to lie to myself. You know, I'm not going to be like the president and say, if we have less tests, we can pretend that we don't have a lot of people with corona. We're not doing that. And that's not justice either. So in respect and regard to Dawn Dixon and the other women in this film who you can learn about, you know, it's on HBO Max, it's streaming. Your homeboy Lover J right here, giving it the serious high five on the record. This is The Show. Peace, love, and courage as always. Have a great day. Make the most of your moments. And remember, winners train, losers complain. Do your thing. Peace.